Hey, how's it going? We're live here on YouTube. I'm joined with Victor. What's up, man?
What's up, Joji? I'm happy we got on. We have some exciting news to talk about and some really cool sourcing. Because whenever we source live together, we find some really great deals. So the two mixed together, let's get it done.
Yeah. So, also some great news. Victor, some of you may or may not know this, but Victor and I were in Miami Sellers Conference, and we actually had a camera crew from French come follow us from the show M6, and we were on 66 Minutes, and that aired today. I saw we got that cool little logo up there, which is pretty exciting. So, if you're somebody who's coming from 66 Minutes, I do want to let you know that if you go to our main website, we are specifically going to have a free training for anyone who's coming from the M6 66 French audience. So that's going to be actually on Tuesday, and it's going to be, I believe, at what is 7 p.m. CET. So
7 p.m. CET time.
yeah, CET, Central European time. So if you wanted to go or
Yeah.
come to that live, then please do. And again, it's gonna be like really just an introductory training, like step by step, how to get started if you are interested. I know a lot of questions people are gonna have about being in France is like, do I sell on the French marketplace? Do I sell on the US marketplace? Where do I get started? There's just a ton of questions. So
Well, the first question most people already ask is it possible? And like,
yeah,
yeah, you can sell from anywhere in the world to
yeah.
on Amazon. So that's what the cool part is. You can be anywhere in the world and sell on Amazon. So yeah,
Yep. So if you are interested in that, and you are watching this recording right now, basically all you would do is you would just go to BookMine and you could go ahead and sign up right here. So the M6 66 minutes free webinar, put your name, your email address in, and again, it's just going to be like a beginner trainer, just a training video just to show you how you can get started. And I think it's going to be, well, it's definitely going to be a bunch of fun. It'll be a bunch of value. We're definitely going to give away some stuff as well. Like we'll at least give away like 1 3 month BookMine subscription, something to just come. It's gonna be an awesome time.
oh,
So
we're gonna have a lot of fun. We're gonna show people how to do this basically from anywhere in the world. So yeah, we're definitely going to pull a lot of books. We're gonna talk about high school books, college, everything there is.
yeah,
We'll throw that in.
we got Junk Man in the house saying, "Hey, what's going on?" All right.
Hey, John,
So
man.
Victor, I think we should do some live sourcing. How does
Yeah,
that
let's
sound?
do it. Sounds
Okay.
great.
So I'm going to share my screen. All right. The
So
cool thing about
how
this,
often would you say, Joji, that we do sourcing? How often would you go and say you source books a day?
I usually spend, if I'm not spending much time, I could spend 20, 30 minutes a day, or I can spend an
Yeah,
hour or two. I usually don't
yeah.
spend that much time sourcing because, and for someone who's like, what does sourcing mean? Actually going to buy the books. And that's because, I've been doing it for so long that I kind of already know what I'm looking for.
Yeah,
But um, Victor and I like to occasionally do, live streams to help people out there. So
yeah.
the cool thing is that everybody has the ability to have Book My Mini for free, which is awesome. It gives you 50 book leads every 2 hours, and you can sign up right here. It's absolutely free. And Book My Mini essentially, again, is going to give you 50 book leads every 2 hours. It's a great tool to get started with. But I'm going to go to the BookMine app, which is what you would have access to if you did become eventually a BookMine member. And Victor and I are just going to do some live sourcing. So
Yeah, let's do it.
um, the cool thing up here is, again, we have a bunch of different filters so that you can really pinpoint on any particular books that you like. And one thing that I really like to do, Victor, is
Mm.
kind of use the price slider and the profit meter. So I'm gonna, let's say, look for books that are, I'm gonna say, under 25-ish dollars, and I'm gonna look for books that are both apparently great or amazing right now, and we can start sourcing from there. Okay, so
Perfect.
let's look at
Let's
this
do it.
first one right here. All right, so we had History of Rock and Roll. Have you ever seen this book, Victor?
Actually, I have. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually have flipped this book before, but I flipped it
Uh,
back in like 2022, 2023.
yeah. More than likely, it's probably the same. Yeah.
Yeah. Interestingly, kind of for 2024, it was really not selling for very much, but it did sell a few times here. It's like, 40 to 50 range recently for about 45 bucks. Back in January about 75, and now it's here about 26. So what you have to understand about BookMine is that BookMine's trying to find, or BookMine is finding undervalued books relative to what the book has sold for in the past. So this book is about 26 bucks. It looks like the most recent sell is 50. Now, I would say the rest of the history here, Victor, doesn't look amazing. So for that reason, I'd probably pass on it. But
There was one good sell there in January, but yeah,
yeah,
you're right. It's not that great, and
it's
it's like
yeah,
a college textbook, right? It's one of these books that keep the older it gets, the less in demand it is,
right,
the less
exactly.
valuable it is. Yeah.
Now we have this one, A Sea Without Fish,
Mm.
and what we can see is the most recent sell here looks to be around 65, 69. So what I would say is from looking at the past year, it looks like it sells maybe once every month or once every other month for about like 60 to 70 bucks. And Victor, what's this price at right now?
Oh, it's great. Yeah, $18. So
18 bucks.
18.40. Also what I like about it, it doesn't look like it is a college book, so
Yep.
it will continue to hold its value. So
Yep.
it's 5,000 days old, so
It's a
what's another
really old
100 days,
book.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
The
A
fact
really old
what's
book,
another 100
2009.
yeah, and it holds its value, so definitely a good book to go check out.
And it's definitely a good sign that Amazon's also out of stock because
Mhm.
Amazon was normally on this listing for about 50 bucks. But one thing that's really good news is that whenever you have the used and new price very close together, Victor, it tends to mean the book holds value, like even in
Yeah.
used condition, which is great.
Yeah.
But yeah, this book is 18 plus shipping, so it looks like it's you can pick it up for 22 bucks. And again, it is a slow mover, but I would say the past 10 sells have all been above like 65, 70 bucks. So the plan for this book, Victor, would be what? To buy it for 22.44 and then sell for right around what?
Yeah, at least 65. I'm thinking,
Yeah, $65.
$65 or more. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'd be looking at about 100% ROI return. Now, what's good to know as well is that this is a slower moving book, right? So
Yeah.
if you were to buy this, I wouldn't expect this to sell like the week that it checks in. It might take, 3 months, 4 months, five, might even take half a year. But I mean, this is an incredible return. And then, Victor, what's so cool about if you were to buy this book? I mean, do you have to prep it yourself or send it to
Yeah,
Amazon or?
all we're doing is literally just clicking buy it now, right? All we're doing
Yeah,
is clicking uh, buy, and then it goes to our prep center. Our prep center then sends to Amazon, and it sits in the Amazon warehouse for the 3 to 6 months until it sells.
yep,
And we collect an additional $22 in profit.
yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right, let's look at this one right here. We also have some comments. Let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and stop sharing my screen for a second. We have Junkman says he has a question on a Christmas video. If you put a book in summer at the super high price, do you ever get high pricing yours? Yeah. So if you're trying to sell seasonal books, specifically like Christmas books, you do tend to get high pricing errors on them. And yeah, what you can do there is, there's usually a certain period of time before the book will, be sent back to you. So before that time is up, you just change the price on them.
I think it's 60 days.
Yeah. So you
Yeah.
just change the price so that the high pricing error gets or goes
Reset.
away.
Yeah.
So let's say you're wanting to sell this Christmas book for like 35 bucks and it's a high pricing error, but there's copies available for like 18. Well, you just lower the price down to 18 for an hour or so. And then as soon as the price has been lowered, you just raise right back up to 35 and it resets the whole clock
For
at
another
60 days.
60 days. Yeah.
And some people might ask, well, what happens if the book sells in the 1 hour that you drop the price down? Well, I would say in most cases it doesn't, but in some cases it may. And in that case, hopefully you bought it cheap enough that you'll still be close to break even or profitable, right?
Yeah,
But
or also just try to be on it, right? As soon as
yeah.
you change the price again, and in less time than an hour.
Christian says, have I tried the Amazon influencer program? I know it sort of veers away from book selling, but Reezy seems to me. Yeah, actually a lot of people have been doing the Amazon influencer program. And for me, I'm just all focused on one thing because I know the more I focus on one thing, the easier it is to beat everybody else, right? Because now if Amazon influencer is dangling in front of your eyes, or this is dangling in front of your eye, it's just so much easier for me to beat everybody else, right? Because
Yeah,
I'm just like I have one mission and I'm going to be stubborn on that mission. I do think there's probably a lot of opportunity there, but I'm also not spending time doing that. Rosemary says, "Hey, Joji and Victor, hope I'm not too late." No, we actually
no, you're
just
not. Yeah, we
right,
just started.
yeah. And Christian says there are many shiny coins. What I
Yeah,
would say, Victor, is there's a lot of opportunity in pretty much anything, right? It just
yeah.
comes down to sticking with it.
There's a
Right?
million ways to make money, but it's what way do you like to make money, and then sticking with it. Right? Exactly.
Yeah. All right. This book looks great. So this is the official history of the world's greatest motor race. And
Mhm.
what would be your analysis of this, Victor?
Actually, it's really a great book. I mean, this is like an ideal book. So if like I was trying to show somebody what we do, this literally the book you just clicked on is a perfect example. Like
Yep.
people don't even realize that this actually happens to books just now, like because they don't understand what. Wait, the book was $50 yesterday, and now it's $20. Yeah, or $10 actually. Yeah, um, it just happens because a few big bulk booksellers go at it and will keep bringing down the price. So
Yep.
yesterday book at $55, today it's at 10.
Yep.
Crazy. Yeah.
So the way that we're knowing that it's selling is that we have the sales rank, multiple sales rank drops when basically the used price is very close to the new price. It looks like for a good period of time it was actually higher than the new price. In that case, most of these sales are happening in brand new condition. So this book is selling like brand new for 58 bucks. And even when Amazon raises price, it still looks like in new condition or even in used condition, the book was selling for right around that price. And like Victor mentioned,
Mhm.
on August 26th, this was $52, and it's just been going down and down and down in price. And when you look at this book, Victor, over the last 3,800 days, has it ever been that cheap?
I mean, it's a near perfect book. No, it has not been.
Yeah. So in other words, you're getting an incredible deal if you're a customer, but you're also getting an incredible deal if you're trying to flip this.
Yeah.
Now, if we look at what the purchase price would be, it's 1095 plus 738. And if we look at what my goal for selling this would probably be like 59.99. We're looking at about 100% return. And this book is actually going to move a little bit more quickly than the other book as well.
Yeah.
But
Slightly
awesome book there.
faster. But yeah,
So
that's a great deal. I mean, and that's what we do when we go sourcing. That this is it. We just click on Amazon, find or use BookMine to literally pick out these deals for us, and we're just going to go and verify that that deal is actually still a really good deal, and
yeah.
it is.
So you'd go ahead and just click add to cart. You'd buy it. What Victor and I do is we actually don't prep our own books. So we'll ship it to our prep center. Our prep center will then ship it to the Amazon warehouse, and then a customer will buy the book, and Amazon will ship it to the customer. Obviously, we'll pay Amazon fees, but the plan is to sell this book for $59.99, and after all the fees,
Yeah.
which includes, the FBA referral fee, the fulfillment fee, the closing fee, the prep fee, the inbound shipping fee. We're still left with a $20 profit. And Victor, all we had to do is click buy it now, right?
Which is a huge profit,
Yep.
Georgie. So stay on this book,
Yeah.
because of there are two sellers on this listing, right? That are right around 17. Would
Yep.
you consider buying both of them?
Correct. Yep.
Yeah,
So basically, I'd buy both of these copies
yeah,
because they're both very undervalued. They're both
yeah.
giving amazing deals. And as soon as these copies are gone, the price immediately goes up to 28, which I bet honestly goes back up as well because there's not going to be other people competing to drag its price down. It's
Hmm.
probably going to go right back up in the 50s. And by
Yeah.
the way, I don't believe there's any used prime offers. There's only new prime offers, but Victor, that's at 78. And we're going to
Whoa.
be much cheaper than that, right? We'll be
Yeah.
like 55, $60. So,
Oh yeah.
so
Our books would sell. So
So what
there's
we're saying is like if I would buy like go buy this book. Like if you
yeah.
don't buy this book after the live stream, I'm gonna go buy the book. If that makes sense.
I mean, this is just so easy with BookMine. I
Yeah.
don't. I really simple
All right.
stuff. Anyway, go for it.
Okay, let's go to the next one. Let's go to
Yeah.
the practice of macro social work. This actually shows up as a gold bar. Why is that different than these other ones, Victor, that aren't gold?
So we have a ton of different like indicators whether or not a book is a really great deal. And if a book checks off the vast majority of our indicators, like and gives a score of 8 or above, which means it like shows us that this book is more than likely a really great deal, we'll put that
Yep.
in gold.
Yeah, put that in gold. All right. Let's see. So we have the practice of social work. And Victor, what kind of book would you say this is? Just from
It's a
looking at it.
college textbook.
Yeah, easily you can tell it's a college textbook. The dead giveaway is that on the right it says 4E, which means fourth edition. And yeah, it just has the, macro social work. It just has the look of a college textbook. And Victor, when do college textbooks tend to sell the best?
Actually, right now, right? So January and August and the middle of September
Yeah.
through the middle of September. Yeah.
We see a bunch of sales rank drops in
Hmm.
those periods of time because that's when college students go back to school and that's when they're buying their books. Now, Victor, when a bunch of people all of a sudden need to buy the book, what tends to happen to the price?
The price starts to go up because there is less supply and a lot of demand.
Yeah. And so what's actually kind of interesting is that the price in the season is going down. But the good news is that we still have the January season coming up and we do see the offer count going down. You can also see in January how the offer count went down as well, which indicates that this is a healthy book. and the buy box price was in the 80s, which if you're an FBA seller, you could easily be winning the buy box at that price and selling it for that as well. So the plan here would be, because it's a textbook, and we should start off by, saying this for anyone that is doing online book arbitrage, start off with, making sure that the book doesn't have any problems being counterfeit or anything like that. So there's a books run calculator check. If you just go ahead and put the ISBN, and you'll be able to see whether or not there is,
That's crazy. They're willing to buy it back for $30.
they're willing to buy it back for $30. And what's the price right now? Under
Much
30
below
bucks.
$30. It's 17. That's crazy. Yeah.
Oh,
So
see
here's
how
the
crazy that
plan.
is?
Buy
So
this
look,
for
you get
17, sell it to them for 30.
so you could buy this for 17,
Yeah.
sell it back to them for $30. Now, this one in particular looks like it's not in the best condition. It says bending, writing tears, possible water damage. So who knows if they would actually accept it? But Victor, if this was a good copy,
Yeah.
how crazy would that be? You just buy it for $17
Yeah.
on Amazon and then sell it back to a buyback company for 30.
That's just how good this is, right? You
It
can
just
just
shows you,
literally do that all day.
yeah,
Yeah. That happens multiple times a day for me.
yeah. And I want to run this through the other, and look at it. It's not just one. It's also eCampus. It's Books Run. Uh, And then also Textbook Rush is willing to give you more than what you could go buy it for on Amazon. It's straight up cold hard cash, right? And by
Yeah.
the way, Victor, if you were to get $30 for this book
Yeah.
on Amazon, you'd probably have to sell it for like 45, right? 42 to 45
Yeah.
after the fees.
Yeah. Right.
So like getting a $30 check from Books Run like represents you selling this book for like $42 to
Yeah.
45 bucks, which
Yeah.
is kind of just crazy.
And you get it now. You don't have to wait
You
for
get
it
it
to
now.
sell. You don't have to wait till January. You're gonna get
Yep.
yeah.
Um,
They pay for the shipping. All they're
yeah.
just gonna give you a label. You're gonna put it on a box, and there it goes.
Yeah, but the reason why they're willing to pay as high as 30 is because you could easily sell this book for, I would say, 70 to 80 bucks
Yeah. Yeah.
in
Yeah.
the January season. So they're
Which is
going to
really,
make
this is
money
a
off
really
you.
great deal. Yeah.
Yeah. But it just shows you how good of a deal it is that a buyback company is literally willing to give you more money for it. So that's cool. The second thing is make sure you're eligible to sell it, which you can see that I am actually eligible to sell it, which is good. And we do have some questions. Let's see what we
Let's
got.
go.
Christian says, I just sold another $170 book I purchased for $100. That's great. So you bought it for 100, flipped for 170. Nice.
Perfect.
This is a good question. Christian asks, why was on the first book, the second book we were looking at, the used price was higher than the new price? And the answer to that is, remember, as a seller, you can price the book whatever you want at. So if there are new copies for $20, I could list my used copy for 1,000 if I wanted to, right? And so if I'm the only used offer, that's what Keepa will show, is that the used price is 1,000, but it doesn't mean that's what it's selling for.
Yeah, and sometimes some people's strategies, it's kind of weird, but they'll wait for Amazon to go out of stock. They'll
Yeah,
put their price at like, $20 higher and just sit there like dormant until Amazon goes out of stock, and then they're the only offer, and so then they'll sell their book. It's a
yeah,
it's a long-term strategy, but yeah, there are booksellers that do that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Christian says, thanks for BookMine Mini. It really has helped me out. I'm glad. And if
Yeah.
you're not familiar with BookMine Mini, it's really simple. You just go to the bookmine.co. You can just Google BookMine and then click on bookmine.co and then go to pricing. And then over here on the left, we have BookMine Mini, which is 100% free. And it gives you 50 book leads every 2 hours, which, by the way, Victor, we haven't gone through 50 books yet, and we've already found great books.
Yeah, we went through like 7, 8 books.
Yeah. All right.
And you're right. Yeah. Great
All
stuff.
right. Let's actually see if we have some more questions here as well. Rosemary says, I need to be faster. January books are popping up, says Christian. Yep. And we
Yeah.
have Jan in the house. Hello.
Oh, hey Jan, how are you doing?
Christian says, any new features coming in a lower tier level?
And a
New
lower
feature.
tier level. Our lower tier level is BookMine Mini.
Yeah, that's
You want us to pay you money to to use BookMine?
yeah.
Thank you for using BookMine. We'll send you $10, next week.
Yeah. So this is our plan to support people in the
Yeah.
community as much as we can. So that is definitely the lowest tier level that we can get. I think what you mean is like, is there like a middle ground? I think is what he's saying. What I will say is, if you're a BookMine Mini member, definitely come. We do BookMine trainings specifically for BookMine Mini members every couple months. I would say come to those because we can, give you a good offer there. How about we can
Yeah.
we'll leave it
Yeah,
at that.
'cause we'll do training. We'll try to help you out there, and we'll
Yeah.
also offer, like, encourage you,
Yeah.
and try to offer you a different type of deal to use BookMine.
Yeah. Rosemary says you really are out here helping people, not just hype. Thank you, Rosemary. We
Yeah,
really appreciate that.
thank you.
And
It
let's
means
get
a lot.
back to some profitable books, Victor. What do you think?
Yeah, that's a book. So go buy that book,
Yeah.
and sell it for $80 in January.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Okay, so we have Readers for Writers 2016 LMA update. All right, what is cool about this book is it's priced really cheap, right? So it's only $8. And this particular book looks like it has seasonality in January and April. Can you see that, Victor?
Yeah, well, I'm really liking it as long as last year's August wasn't there or wasn't around, right?
Right.
So if there was an August last year, like there was some sales in August, but this year there isn't, then
Yeah.
probably yeah, I'd probably want to pass on it because then it was probably more of a dead book. But
Yeah.
let's look.
Yeah, because there's one sales rank drop here, one sales rank drop here. So there's only two sales rank drops in August, like Victor's saying. So
Hmm.
if we look at the last August, and let's say the last August there's a bunch of sales, what it means is that this book is different this year. Like, oh wow, it sold really well last August, but not well this August. That's not a good sign. But
Yeah,
Victor,
yeah.
if we go to August and it didn't sell, just like it didn't here, then we're
Yeah,
looking at
we're in the money.
yeah, okay. And so if we go back to 2024, we do actually see some sales in August,
Yeah.
September.
Now,
So
when is the second group happening? At the end of August. Okay, because I was thinking if that's September, we haven't made
yeah,
it into September yet. But yeah,
yeah,
there have already been sales. So
yeah,
more than likely, even
yeah,
without having to click on this book, there's probably a new edition. So this is a college textbook.
yeah.
There's probably a new edition that's come out, that's where all the demand is went.
All right, let's see. So we were looking at the 15th edition,
Yeah.
which came out probably 2016. And then we have the 16th edition. Okay. And yeah, you can see that this is where all the demand is went, like Victor said. These are where all
Hmm.
the sales are happening is on this book. Now,
Yeah.
what's cool, Victor, is you could have bought this book for as low as like $15 and it's up here in the 50s. There's no FBA offers right now.
Wow.
So this is, and actually, this newer edition has been out for many years. It's been out since 2019. And so I would say this is a seasonal book that you should always be on the lookout for, honestly.
Yeah.
So I would say track this book for like 15 or so bucks. And I think you could easily sell this for 45, $50 in the season. So
Yeah,
a,
and
a
that's what
good
I
lead.
tend to do that too. I tend to go like once I see one book, go and see what other books I can find from that book. Yeah,
Yeah.
kind
And
of do a
the
huge
easiest way
rabbit
to
hole.
track that is you can use the track product feature on Keepa. So you can click on this track product button, and then you can go ahead and put, let's say, a use price of 15. I like to include shipping costs. So meaning if the price of the book's like $14, but there's plus $3.99 shipping, then it won't show up. But if the book is truly under $15, I think that this book is a no brainer to pick up like multiple copies of, and then you can decide how long you want to track it on. So the cool thing is
And
that book.
oh, go
Go
ahead.
for it. Go for
Oh,
it.
I was like, and when we first were using Keepa, that wasn't an option.
Yeah.
And so some people would have like these books that say it was like $8, and you're like, whoa, and then you would go and click on it, and it was like $40 shipping, and I'm like, ah.
So this is a really good strategy to use with BookMine or
Yeah.
BookMine Mini, right? You find the lead on Amazon,
Mhm.
and then you are obviously going to buy a lot of those books. But even if there's some books that you're not going to buy, you can go ahead and set up success in the future with setting these trackers, right? And I also want to mention, Victor, all of these leads, like for with BookMine Mini or BookMine, they just come to you, right? It's not like you have to do any. It's
No,
not like you had to go in and do any like keep a filtering or keep a searching or like any super hard manual work, right?
no,
To
it's just
find
right
like
there.
it's just like a Victor. Do you know those?
Steady supply.
You know those like sushi restaurants that have like a
Yeah.
spinning wheel and you sit down and the sushi just comes to you
You just keep eating it.
and you go,
Yeah,
nah, I don't want that one. Yeah, okay, yeah, I'll take that one. Sounds good.
yeah.
That's what I think
That's
is
all
fine.
day long, that's what's happening, yeah, every 30 minutes, even at, like, 3 in the morning. If you're
Yeah,
up at 3 in the morning, you wanna go source some books, there are fresh new leads at 3 in the morning, believe it or
fresh
not.
new leads, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
sounds good. All right, let's see if there's anything else that is really intriguing to me, and if
There's
there's
a
anything
lot
that
of I
pops out
mean,
to you.
the marijuana one was good, this book that you
Yeah,
just looked at there was good,
yeah.
the guidebook.
Let's see. I really let's see. I'm gonna look at this one. Let's get
Yeah,
this one.
that's good too. I mean, literally, I could have also bought the other 2 books.
Okay, so let's take a look at this one. Introduction to stochastic processes with R. So again, a good idea because it is a textbook to check counterfeit likelihood, which Book Run says unlikely. Looks like they'll buy back for 11.58. Looks like it's not quite low enough where you can flip it back to them.
Ah, shucks.
Ah,
Not this
shucks.
one.
Okay, so that's check one. Make sure it's not counterfeit, likely. And then check to make sure you can actually sell it. I have another Chrome or another extension called SellerAmp, which allows me to do that. But you could also just use Amazon Seller Central to check that pretty easily as well. All right, so we're good. Check there. So let's continue. What I really like about this book, Victor, is that this is the cheapest price this book has ever been at this whole year. It was regularly selling above $65, and now it's about a third of that price, right? Now, a lot of people might be scared away because, like, well, yeah, Joji, Victor, but the price is like $27. But remember, prices are just a snapshot in time, right? When you look at this book over its history, it has performed quite well. And so when I do see a book sort of tank in value that quickly, kind of what I'm looking at is there a new edition of this book maybe that has come out? So the cool thing is that most of the time, the new edition, if there is one, will be attached to the listing, and you can clearly see that, and you can click on it. But here, I'm just going to copy the title. And I know you do this too, Victor, right? And just change.
Yes.
Actually, I'll just type it in like that. And if the second edition was here, it should show up, which maybe it's this one right here. This is.
I think that's the older one.
I think this, because we were looking at the first edition.
Oh, okay. Some other book.
And
then.
This is the first edition, 2023 edition. Is it the same author, though? That's the question. It's a different author.
Yeah, I think it's a different book. Yeah.
I think it's a different book. In other words, from the research that I'm doing, I think we're looking at the newest edition. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I agree with you.
So I'm thinking, okay, I can't find a new edition of this book. So if I can't find the new edition of this book, I don't know how anyone else is going to find the newest edition of this book.
Yeah, so click on the 3,600 Days, Joji. This is another great book, right? The entire time, it's never been this low. It's just like always at this price, and just for some crazy reason today, it's now $22.
Yeah, it's $22. So let's look at the offers. We do have Textbook Rush with 6 in stock, and then you can see the prime offers are all chasing them down. And this book does have seasonality. It's mainly going to sell in January, and it's not going to sell a bunch, but it is going to sell, 15 to 20 to maybe 15 to 20 to 30 times between January and February is what I'd say. So if there's like 4 or 5 offers that are prime, that's really not that many offers on a book like this, especially if you are able to pick it up cheap. Now, how many copies of a book like this would you buy, Victor?
You know what's kind of crazy, Joji, is that most other like software brands or companies would tell you not to buy this because the merchant fulfilled is 22 and the prime is 27. There's not enough gap there to make any money pass on this book, but but they don't actually see the keeper chart, which is where you actually make all your money from, right? Is understanding these keeper charts. But you asked me how many would I buy, or would I buy it?
I said, how many copies would you buy?
How many would I buy? I mean, at least 2 copies. More than likely, more than 2. Let's see how many are right around 27. So like 3.
Wait, so 4? Let's start off by saying the lowest merchant offer is actually way cheaper. It's $22.92.
Okay.
And I don't think there's 1 copy. I think there's like 5 copies, and then it goes up to 27. There's only, I think, 3 prime offers for a total of. There's 4 prime offers for $40 that are under 30, and then it goes up to 56.
Yeah.
So I would say for me, for a book like this, it's not a book that sells a ton. You can almost count the sales and drops. So
I would say 2 or 3.
2 copies. Yeah, I'd buy like 2 copies of this book. And the goal would be to try to sell it in January, and I'd be targeting like $59.99 personally is what I'd be targeting.
Yeah, perfect. Same thing.
So $22 to $59.99.
And I'm going to sell it in January.
Yeah, that's what I would say as well. So sounds good there. We have Jerry Richardson in the house as well. Let's see where Jerry says, "Well, let's go." Yeah,
what's up? So Jerry's joining us at Books and Beyond.
Books and Beyond. You told me about that.
We got a confirmed yes from him. So
yes,
he's showing up. So I can't wait to meet him in person.
Yes. We have Julian. Hello, Julian. So Julian says, "Hello. Is it feasible to do this from France?" And my camera just went all blurry. But yes, it is definitely possible to do it from France. There are definitely people who live in French who do this on the U.S. marketplace. And I did want to show you, if you're somebody who came from M6 66 Minutes, which I'm assuming you did, we have a free training specifically for the French audience that's happening Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central European time. And all you have to do is just go to our website, bookmine.co, or you can go to Google and type in BookMine. And then you can see that there's a 66 Minutes logo, which was really, really fun that we're able to do that. And you can just put your name and your email address here. And what we're going to be doing, we put together a special training for people who live abroad in France, because obviously if you live abroad, it's a little bit different than if you lived here in the United States. But really not too different, and we wanted to give you a live training. So yeah, it is definitely possible, and I would say attend that if you can. Let's see. Christian says hi to Jerry. Rosemary says books on a revolving sushi line.
Yeah, basically that's what it is. Like, no, I'll pass
Yeah,
on that one.
yeah.
Okay, that
I
one's good. Yeah.
yeah. Okay. I've recently copy and pasted keeper charts in ChatGPT, and it shows me good indicators. There you go.
Huh?
ChatGPT is probably probably listens to the transcripts of our videos, and it's like, okay, so this is the information I need to know, and then helps you out that way.
Probably
Um,
so.
let's see. Jolu says, Oro of Beacol, 6,000 books in inventory. Currently using your price, it's selling around 35 books a day. Ooh, I'm assuming a thrifting model.
Yeah.
Uh,
The
6,000
challenge
books.
here is that reprice it is kind of just a one model. Like you put in all your books at one price and then sell them. Like I want my books to sell at least for $22 or something, and
Yeah,
then have that go. The where Aura and Be Cool are, it's like a one by one book, right? So you want these books to be priced at these different levels, and so it's a little bit harder. I don't know necessarily which one you would pick, Joji, out of the two, but I think both are good. I think Aura right now has a little bit more options and a little bit easier to navigate. But
yeah.
it's kind of up to you. But I would say slightly more to Aura side.
Yeah, I would say the same as well. I used
Yeah,
BeCool for a long time. I recently switched over to Aura, really enjoying it. Really, I think it's much easier to use as somebody who is transitioning to a new software, and that's what I would recommend, and that's what I'm using it right now.
yeah.
And I think they
Don't
do have.
you have a discount code, right? Do you,
I don't know if I have a
or
discount. Maybe I think I have an extended trial. I appreciate.
oh,
Yeah,
okay, cool.
so on my
That's so
YouTube
cool.
channel,
Yeah,
you could use the link in my description to get an extended trial. So that's cool. All right.
cool, cool.
This book looks pretty crazy to me. The Crossley
Yeah,
ID Guide of Eastern Birds. So, what is really bringing the attention to me is right now, Victor, this book is priced at $10. And in May and June,
yeah.
July, how much was this selling for?
Sky high, 55
Sky
and higher.
55 and higher. And
It
even a little
basically
before
sold
that,
out, right? There for a little bit
yeah,
there.
even before that,
Yeah,
I was selling in the 30s. In December, we're selling in
yeah.
the 40s. And what likely causes to happen, Victor, is what happened to Amazon back in November.
Amazon sold out.
Yeah, so Amazon went off the listing. Guess what? Amazon supplies the market with a bunch of copies of this book, and when they no longer can supply the population with these books, guess what? Now only people who have it in use condition or other new third-party sellers can sell it. And it doesn't look like there are very many people selling it in new condition outside of Amazon. So
Yeah,
the only
yeah.
other place to get it's from used sellers. And so this book was selling for $50.
Wow.
And now it's down here at 10. Now the offer count really isn't even that high. It's only at a 20 offer count. Now, what I will say about this book, Victor, is that Amazon normally is in stock. Like from 2011 to 2024, they were basically in stock the whole time, right? So there's more risk in buying a book like this just because could Amazon come back on the listing? They could. And in that
Yeah,
case, if you're buying it at $10 and they come back on at 35, honestly, it's
yeah. It
actually
was like that's not even that much of a risk, right?
yeah,
Because
that's true.
right, Amazon coming back on the listing of this book at 35 and you buy it for like 13, you're still gonna
13,
actually
14.
you're gonna squeak out a little bit of profit there still.
Yep.
Yeah,
So I would say the goal for me would be to sell this book for like $45 is what I'd
yeah.
say my goal is. So we're
Mhm.
looking about 100% ROI. But let's say Amazon does come back in stock at 35 and you have to sell yours for like 33. You're still
But
making 2
yeah.
bucks
So this is
without
kind of
doing
a
any
worst
work.
case scenario, but you're
Yeah.
still making $2, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there is more upside as well. I said 45, but again, this book does have sales ring drops as high as even 59.99.
Yeah. I
So
thought I was gonna put it at 49.99.
yeah, so 49.99, you're looking at over 100%. And
Yeah.
again, some people were able to sell us for 59.99. And so what I would say is, and this is what Victor and I do when we're buying books, is we think about the downside risk. I think the downside risk is selling this for like $33, or worst case scenario, 29.99 and breaking even. Which breaking even to me with the potential of making like 15 to $20 per
Yeah.
copy,
It's a no
I would take
brainer.
that.
Buy
Yeah.
the book. Yeah.
Yeah, so I would buy actually multiple copies of this just because it does have quite a good sales ring.
Oh, and a ton of sales, right? I mean, we both talk about how do we know whether or not to buy more than one.
Yeah,
If buy one if you can just count the sales ring drops
right.
easily, and you can't count the sales ring drops here easily at all.
Yeah,
Sometimes there's multiple sales in a day, right? You can't count
yeah.
how many small little drops are there. So this is 3 books. I mean, way more than 3 books, probably 10 books if
Oh
you can
yeah,
find
I would
it.
say 10 copies pretty easily.
Yeah.
And someone might ask, like, how do you know if you can count them easily? Well, try to count them in a 1 year period. And if it takes you more than 15 seconds, then no, it's not
If your
easy to
brain
count.
starts hurting, you're like,
Yeah.
okay, what number was I on? Yeah,
Yeah. And especially if you're
that's
like, wait, is
10.
that a drop too? That's a drop. That's
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So not easy to count the drops. So definitely a lot of so again, the plan here, buy this for 13, sell for between 45 to 50 would be the goal. I would say buying up to 10 copies of this easily. Um, Worst case scenario, Amazon comes back on the listing, you sell it at break even or a very minimal loss. But the good news is it's additional sales that you get, which helps your IPI score, helps your account health rating. So I would say go for it for sure.
Mhm.
Good book there. All right, let's see what else we got. Okay, this is a good book to look at because of the fact people can learn a lot from this. So, what we see in this book that's kind of alarming to me, Victor, is the date. And why, if we see the date 2023 or 2024 or 2022, why is seeing the date in the title of a book kind of a red flag?
Because the publisher did this on purpose, right? They
Yep.
put that on there as to signify that they're planning on coming out with a new edition the next year, right?
Right.
Because they're going to have a 22 and 2022 version, 2023, 2024, 2025. And
Right.
so really quickly after the year is over, that book really drops in value and will continue to drop in value pretty vastly,
Yep.
compared to a book that doesn't have the year in the title. So most of the time I tend to just steer away from it, because by the time I found that book and realized it could be a good deal, usually it's already at the end of the year, that whatever year it was. And so usually when I see a title, year in the title, I just
Yeah.
pass on it.
Yeah, but what I do also want to say though is the
Yeah,
reason why BookMine brought this up is because its
yeah,
price is 11 bucks and it was recently in July and June selling for 50. So we want BookMine to show you books like this.
yeah.
But again, this is why you do want to do a little bit more research, and again, through experience you would know that okay, this book came out in 2023, there's probably a 2024 and 2025 edition, so we want to go ahead and skip it. But that's why BookMine found it, is because it is actually a good book. All right.
We could put it in the code maybe one of these days, and anything that has a date in it, like a 2023, 2024, 2025, just cut it off. Don't even show it on Bookmine.
Yeah, we could do that.
Yeah,
That is true. All right, so we just looked at the first page, using a couple of filters. So let's go ahead and look at the second page. It's actually likely that BookMine definitely would have updated since we even started going live because it's been over 30 minutes. So we could even reset this if we wanted to, but we're gonna go ahead and look at another page of BookMine here and see what we can find. All right, let's look at this one. So we have Integrative Medicine, 4th edition, obviously college textbook. And sometimes you'll see this on a listing where the new price just keeps dropping and then dropping, and the used price stays down there. It looks kind of weird. And sometimes that happens with books. But what I would say is that, let's just check to see if there is a newer edition of this book, which it does look like there is a newer edition. Let's see how long it's been out. Looking at the 5th edition. It actually has been out for quite a long time, which is not necessarily a good or bad thing. Like I would say it's actually you could think of it as a good thing because this
yeah,
whole year this book has been selling well, Victor. It's been selling for
yeah.
like 45 to 50, and it is kind of weird that again the prices are fluctuating, changing so much. I don't know what the reason is, but whoever the newer seller is, I don't know if their repricer is going wonky or
Yeah,
crazy right
what's
here.
happening is that there is two sellers that both have a very similar rule that will reset every like 4 or 5 hours back to its max price, and so the other one goes back to its max price, and then it goes back to its normal price, and the other one goes
Yeah.
back to. So it just keeps on doing this until one of them sells.
Hmm.
That's at least that's what I've seen historically when I notice these charts like that.
Yep. It's probably these 2 sellers with the, lower feedback rating as well.
Yeah,
And what I would say here is that, again, let's just rely on historical data. So most of this year, this book has been selling at least for 50 bucks or more. It's currently priced at about 18. Now, we looked at the newer edition. The newer edition is still priced in the 70s. It does have a really good sales rank, but so does this book. This book still has a really good sales rank as well, and it is still selling. So the goal here would be to buy it for 17. And I'd say to sell for right around like 55 to 60 bucks is kind of what I would plan on doing.
yeah,
What would you
yeah,
say?
yeah.
Okay.
I think what it looks to be yeah, in the high 50s.
Yeah, I'd say like
Yeah,
55 would
yeah,
be And I mean, you could go higher than that potentially because again, this
Because
book
there's a
was
lot
at
of
the
sell up
lowest
there in
price,
the 60s, right? Yeah.
yeah, selling in the 70s, right? So,
Yeah.
but one thing that you'll learn as you become, more experienced booksellers is, if the profit's there and you're making good profits, sometimes it's good just to sell books, right? Because that's the plan, right? We're not trying to
We're
necessarily.
booksellers, not book collectors.
Yeah, we're booksellers, not book collectors. We're not always trying to get the exact top dollar for every book because it's kind of impossible to get top dollar for every book, right? But if we can be very profitable and just sell our books, take that money and put it into another good book as well, then we're building a sustainable
Yeah,
business,
we
right?
have some people that use BookMine and
Yeah,
see that there was a FBA price at 125, and
yeah,
they'll price it at 125 and just sit there and
yeah,
then ask us why their books haven't sold. And no, why are you? Well, because it was once up there. Well, first off, we don't even know if that ever sold at 125.
yeah.
Look for where the actual most of the sales are happening, and that's where you need to price your book. You bought it for $10. Okay, if you buy the book for 10, just sell it, right? That's what you need to be
Just
doing
sell it.
here. Yeah.
Yep. Now this also comes back unlikely on Bookstore and Counterfeit Calculator, which is also great there. So for me, I buy for 17, try to sell for around 55. I maybe put a min price of 55, max price of like 65, and try to sell it in that narrow range because I'd be making great profit and I'd be able to turn that money around and put it into another book and just keep the process going. All right, we have a question here, which is, does BookMine flags pop up in Scally or any plans? So BookMine right now is not actually integrated with any like scanning or sourcing app. So no, BookMine doesn't show up. Rosemary also says CPT is a medical insurance code book. Yes, it is. And Jackson says those books scare me. The ones that the new price. All it is, like Victor says, a
Yeah.
couple of sellers with a repricer where you compete very aggressively, but then have a rule to raise prices after a set period of
Hmm.
time. And so the
Yeah.
thing you just have to think of is, was the book selling, right?
Yeah.
Or
Just,
did the
just
book
rely
have
on the
good value in the
historical
past?
data. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's keep moving. Let's look at Cathedral. What I really like about this is you could clearly see the whole year, Victor, this
Yeah.
book's value is kind of in this 35 range, right?
Yeah.
And then where is it now?
Much lower than that. It looks like to be what, $10. I didn't catch how much it was, but
Yeah, it's
much lower.
$9. $9
Nine
plus shipping.
bucks. Yeah.
Yeah. So if we just look at July and August, you could count the sales here. July and
Yeah.
August,
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So there's 11 sales for at least 35 bucks or more, Victor, and it's priced at what now?
$9. $9 and
$9 plus
35
shipping.
29 cents.
So, right, we're not
Real
doing
positive.
anything crazy here. We're like, all right, let's buy it for about 12 bucks, 12, 13 bucks. Let's sell it for 35 to 39. Like that's how simple it is. So
I like to say
929.
don't buy hope, like buy
Yeah.
in facts, right?
Buying
Like
facts.
there's facts. They're right here. It's a chart we didn't make, right? This is
Yep.
actually Keepa's data showing us how much his book has sold for in the past year, and the
Yep.
entire time it's almost been $35 or more, and we can
Yep.
buy it for what looks to be $13.
Yep.
So
Now
yeah,
the cool thing here as well is that there's multiple copies.
yeah,
And again, the lowest price this book was selling for was $35, which usually does not include the shipping price. Now the shipping price is usually plus $3.99 shipping. So this is essentially saying that all those copies sold for at least $38.99, and that means you'd make about a 60% return on your investment, $8 profit without ever touching the book, right, Victor?
yeah. And
So
that's what we need to depend on, right? That's
right,
really what we're going for when we're buying these books.
right.
But if we get lucky enough and we actually sell it for the prime bump, whoa, like this book is
Oh,
actually kind of crazy. Like
crazy.
right now,
Right.
the FBA buy now price is $63. So if
Yep.
we were to have bought it and already on the listing, we could be selling this book for $63. That's a crazy profit for this book.
Crazy margin.
Yeah,
But again, if you're being
yeah,
conservative based upon what it has sold for, boom, even this is a great profit. 8
yeah.
bucks per copy. I mean, you're not
Which is
really
what we
spending
do.
much money per
Right,
copy. Right.
right, right.
And so again, if you could sell it for 63, crazy. But what I would do is I'd price it probably 38.99. And depending on how many copies I bought, I'd probably put like 45 bucks or something like that. Because to me, taking $13 to buy a book and then make $13 profit on top of that, and I never touch the book, that's amazing. I just want to do that as many times as I can. Now, for a book like this, Victor, is it easier to count the sales rank drops here?
Yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah.
if
It's
you can
much
count the sales rank
easier.
drops, yeah.
Yeah.
we generally send to take, to buy one or two, right? So for me, I'd probably
Right.
buy no more than 3 copies of this book. It really depends on what the rest of the historical data was. Let's say its entire decade-long history, this book was always at 30 bucks, then I'd just
Mhm.
literally buy every copy available, right? Because then I know this is a really crazy anomaly that's never happened before. But you can see that in the past, this book has gone down in price, but then recovered and gone up in price. So we know that it's actually kind of part of its normal cycle. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
kind of like
both of those. So if you remember, we had a book that was the entire time at $50, and
right.
then it went down to $9.
Yeah.
That's a really strong indicator that that's a really great book, and I would definitely want to buy this. But also this book, because it has both been at a high price,
Yep.
went lower, and recovered multiple times. So the fact that it's much lower now, I just have a really strong feeling it would go back up again because it's
Yep.
probably done that what 20 times in the past.
Yeah. So
So
it's like
yeah,
when the sun goes up and
yeah.
then it goes down, and the next day the sun goes up again, and then it goes down, and then the sun goes up again, and then the sun goes down. You're like, okay, what's gonna happen tomorrow? Probably
Yeah.
the sun's gonna come up, and then the sun's gonna go back down, right?
Yeah,
So
there's no stress here, and it's like, I don't told you I don't know the answer.
yeah. So I would say, buy this for 13. I would say buy two, maybe 3 copies. I'd say probably not more than 3 copies. I'd say between 1 to 3 copies. If you're
Yeah.
somebody who doesn't have a bunch of capital, just buy a single copy and then price
Yeah.
between like 39.99 to 45 and
If
just
you
let it
don't
sit
have
there.
that much money, yeah, buy one because it's also a little bit slower mover.
It's a slower mover, and plus there's a
Yeah.
bunch of other copies that you can buy.
Yeah.
Okay. This is a really interesting one, Victor. And
Yeah,
before we
it's a
do this,
gold
there's a
book,
couple
so
questions.
okay, cool.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Uh let's see. Jackson says good no. Does Junkman says, does BookMine make Scowly obsolete in your opinion? So we have to understand is that what Scowly tries to do and what BookMine tries to do are complete
They're
separate,
completely
right?
different things. Yeah.
Completely different. So it's like comparing an apple to an orange. So the purpose of Scowly is to give you a as quick as possible indicator whether or not a book is likely to be profitable or not based upon whatever the buy cost is, which is in most cases it was built for like people who go thrifting. So like a
Yeah,
dollar.
so right, so they're going that's what it's used for. You're going to a thrift store, you have a scanner, and you're going to like a thrift store and you're scanning books, and it'll tell you in a matter of a second or a couple seconds whether or not it believes it's a good deal or not, based
Right.
on where the FBA prices are currently and what you're
Right.
buying the book at. So it's
Yep.
like one or two like snapshots in time.
Yeah. Whereas BookMine is essentially looking at historical selling data of that particular book and looking at the current price of the book and comparing the two, and then bringing you back the books that you could buy on Amazon. So the idea is that Scowley is thinking that okay, you're buying these books from some other market, like some other place, right? And it's comparing basically static numbers. BookMine is comparing historical data and looking at the books on Amazon with the intention that you buy them on Amazon and sell them on Amazon. So does BookMine replace Scally? Yes, if what you're wanting to do is buy the books on Amazon to sell them on Amazon for a profit. But no,
Yeah.
BookMine doesn't replace Scally if you want to go thrifting. Because BookMine wasn't built for you to scan any book and then basically say whether or not it's profitable, right? So they're two separate models, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's like almost like when we talk about this, going to a thrift store and then like clicking a button and the 50 best books just show up there and
Yeah.
you're like, okay, out of those 50 books, which ones do I want? And
Yes.
that's what we do but online, right? So
Exactly.
we're not going to a thrift store and scanning books.
Yep. Gary has a good point here. The CPT and DSM books are so popular that counterfeiters tend to make a bunch of them. So generally tend to good to stay
Mm,
away from them, which is good
good
because
point.
usually they come out in new editions all
Okay.
the time anyways.
Yep.
All right. This book I'm really interested in. Why? Because it's a high school book. And I actually recently made a video of this on this. I haven't posted it yet, but I actually did buy multiple copies of this book at this really cheap price of $9. So high school book. How do you know this is a high school book here, Victor?
Yeah, well, I mean, it has a really good July, August amount of demand, right? The bowl is really big during that time and not much in January. So it's a
Right.
dead giveaway that it's a high school book.
High school book. And by the way, that bowl is still repeating.
Yeah.
And the really kind of weird or the thing that doesn't make sense about this high school book is okay, wow. So it started into the season really high, 50, $60. And the demand is there. It's selling a ton. But interestingly, the price right here in the beginning of August went from, it kind of has started going down, but really started tanking down here to about $9. And actually, if you look on the the page here, these are all $9, right? So you can buy multiple copies at under $10, free shipping. Now, of course, you need to get your cart over 35 bucks if you want to buy this. But you can see there's basically 9 copies here, 7 copies there, 10 copies there. And so for me personally, and this is what I explained in the video, most people would think that this book just tanked, right? And that this is a book that's going to be dead forever. But in the video, what I did is I went back and I looked at all the older editions of this book, right? The ninth edition, the 8th edition, the 7th edition. And many of those books did perform extremely well even after multiple new editions had come out. And so what I'm thinking here is that we just happen to have a couple of big mega booksellers with a bunch of copies in stock. But my bet is that I think this book is definitely going to go back up in price, and I think it's going to have a better year. And so when you think about buying a book for $9.66, there's really not too much risk in buying it for that cheap, right? Versus if you're buying multiple copies of this book for like 40 or 50 bucks, then all of a sudden there's a lot more risk involved because you're spending a lot more per book. But
Yeah.
anyways, that yeah,
So
go
this
for it.
our guidance is because it's a high school book, right?
Right.
Because high school books really will continue to hold their value for years to come, even if they're newer editions. And there probably is. There's probably 11th edition, 12th edition, probably even the 13th edition of this book now. But this book will continue to hold it because there's a lot of high schools that still have to supply this book and will need
Yep.
to like replenish their supply, and that's where most of our customers are anyway. So next year, where there's probably still going to be a ton of demand for this book. So when that
Mhm.
happens, you'll be there. You'll bought your book for $9, and I'm thinking it's probably going to recover next year because there's
Yep.
still a lot of demand for it.
Yep. What's interesting is there's also another actually, this might be the
Oh, the
Common
Common
Core
Core.
edition.
Yeah,
Yeah, this is the Common Core edition, which actually did pretty well. So again, this one has good demand and did quite well. But if you just type in the title of this book,
yeah,
10th edition,
yeah,
basically you can see that well, actually I didn't even type in 10th edition. I just typed in the title. The 10th edition is what had come up, and that actually is the newest edition.
yeah,
Now there is a 11th edition, which actually is an AP edition, and this one just came out
yeah,
in 2024. So that's technically the newest edition, but also it's for the AP for AP. It's not for just the normal classes. So again, if you go back and look at again, we were looking at the 10th edition. This is the 8th edition. If you also look at the this is the ninth edition here. Like the 8th and ninth edition was even if you look at how they performed when the newer editions came out, they still did okay. Like interestingly, the what is this? The ninth edition, which is the
yeah,
one before, is
yeah.
actually selling for a higher price, like 3 times the price. It's at 27, 30 bucks, and if you look at its historical selling data, you can see that, you know, even even though this was published in 2015, for many, many years, even up until looks like 2022, it's was still doing well. And this 10th edition, which was the newest edition, it came out, let's see if we can look at the Keepa graph. Came out in 2020. So the older edition was still doing well for multiple years. So, anyways, I think that this is the Common Core edition.
Yeah, I
This one
wouldn't
here.
bail on the other book.
Yeah.
I would keep it for the next year just because of the
Yep.
amount of demand. And
Yep.
also I like that the used offer count, even though higher, it has gone
Yep.
down
It's gone down.
starting in August.
Yeah. So, anyways, I actually did pick up about just like yesterday, I did pick up about 20 copies of this book at about $9 each. And so I'm doing that because I think that there's a very high likelihood that because this is a high school book,
Yeah.
because it is the newest edition, because there's still a ton of demand, that I bet you this book's gonna go back up in price. But interesting book there.
That's why you make really good money with books.
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly. I would say that that is maybe a little bit more once you get a little bit more experience doing things like that, right? But
Oh, it's a pro move. Okay,
yeah.
got it. Yeah.
Well, what I mean by it is like I don't know if I necessarily because I can see how a lot of people could get in trouble with that just buying any random book, but like
Yeah,
unless you
yeah.
understand the reason why that particular book, right?
Sure. Right,
It
right.
comes with
There's a lot
come
of great things that had to have happened with that book for you to want to buy 20 copies. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Okay, so let's look at this book here. Pharmo
Yeah,
Therapeutics
I have no
for
idea. I
advanced.
wouldn't be able to actually say that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so this
It's a
right here,
pharmacy book. Okay, cool. But
yeah,
drugs.
this book is $8. It was
Yeah.
selling in May for about 30. The buy box is in the 50s and 60s, which again, we're looking at the lowest use price, but understand that the FBA prices were in the 50s and 60s. In January and February, March, the lowest price is in the mid 30s, meaning to buy it with shipping, it's about 38, 39 bucks. And then again, the buy box anywhere from 50 up to 80. And now we can buy this book for $8, Victor. Now it's going to be a heavier book, right? You can tell it's a pretty hard. It
Yeah.
looks like it's going to be a pretty heavy paperback, but 11.99 is what you could buy it for. The offer count on it still looks pretty good, Victor.
Yeah.
What I would do is look to see if there was a lot of demand in August, September last year, which honestly doesn't look like there was.
Oh, that's really positive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
because if there was a lot of demand again, like that other book in August, and
yeah.
then this August there wasn't, I would probably steer it away. But the fact
Yep.
there isn't, it's a green light.
Yeah. So I'd buy probably 2, 3 copies of this book. I'd say no more than 3. I'd say like probably 2 copies of this book. And my target would be to try to sell for 45. I think that's very conservative, very realistic. What do you think about that, Victor?
Um, yeah, I think my max price would probably be right under 50. I think.
Yeah.
I don't know what did you say your max price would
I
be?
said I would just try to sell for about $45.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
that's great.
So you'd
Same
make
thing.
about $13 profit per copy.
Yeah.
And this again does have sales up in between the seasons. So you could easily sell this book in between the seasons as well. Um, now it does look like there's also a newer edition of this book, but that doesn't necessarily scare me off because the newer edition is extremely expensive. It's going to be 3
$104.
times expensive. It also just came out, and I still think that this book is likely to do well. Also, a good sign, Amazon just came back in stock as well. So Amazon has kind of reloaded inventory, and it's like, all right, let's continue to sell this
I
book.
still don't know why people ask us that. I think they come from different parts of Amazon or something where people will look for products that Amazon's not in stock or that
Yeah,
Amazon has never sold before. But in the book section, I don't really care whether or not Amazon's on the listing or not. I mean, cool, your Amazon's on the listing. Okay, great. That means that's my max price I can sell it for, but it doesn't stop
yeah,
me from buying it.
yeah,
So the fact that
absolutely.
Amazon came back on the listing, it doesn't really mean anything.
Yep. All right, let's look at this one. We've got some. Do I need to set min and max price for each of my 6,000 books on Aura? So the question is, what is the inventory like? If it's all books that you, let's say, bought for the same price, then you can just import the buy cost to be the same. So let's say, and let's say you paid $1 for each book, you could import $1 for each book, and that'll take a couple seconds. So all of your books will essentially, have a purchase price of $1 each. That's easy. And then you can set up rules based upon the buy cost. So it really just comes down to what your inventory is like. If it was all books that you bought on Amazon for different prices because you don't online book arbitrage, I would recommend setting an individual min and max price because they're more valuable and because you're spending more money per copy.
Hmm.
Doug Man says, this is interesting. Keep a magic. Absolutely. So far, 99% textbooks. What are other types of cyclical demand books besides Christmas?
I
Ooh,
think we looked at a lot of books besides textbooks, but sure, yeah. I mean, textbooks are there because they always hold a lot of good demand.
yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of different seasonal books. One butterflies, like
Yep. There's one about,
there's a whole section of butterflies in like March. They
yep.
and a ton of those go crazy.
There's a
Bible
lot
does
of
really well for Easter.
Easter
Also
does
Easter
well.
books,
Halloween does well. There's some books about
Thanksgiving.
September 11th.
Also in January, like losing weight or cooking books,
Yep.
or
Cookbooks
like
do well.
365 days of whatever also do well in January. There's just a ton of them.
Yeah.
We could just inundate you with different cycles of books.
Yeah. Um, Now, remember that the way BookMine works is it's comparing the current price of books to what the book has been selling for in the past. So if you're wanting to find a lot of those other types of seasonal books, the easiest way is to be on BookMine, and you'll see a lot of these books go like, wow, okay, yeah, this book's about butterflies. It was selling for like 40 to $50 in March and April, and then now it's down here to like 13.
Yeah.
And then you open the Keeper graph and you're like, oh, wait, if we go back and look at the Keeper graph over its entire history, oh, that always happens at that
Mhm.
time. And that's kind of how you can use BookMine to find those sort of seasonal books.
Yeah.
Now, we've specifically coded in the high school and the college books because of the fact that we know that is,
And winter books. Yeah.
yeah, and winter books. And so that actually is over here in book type. So you can see that there are some of those that are popping up. And so
You're not
you,
showing your screen if you
oh,
don't.
I'm not sharing my screen.
Yeah.
Sorry. Thank you. This is
Mhm.
why it's good that
Have two people.
I've got, yeah, 2 people, Russ.
Yeah.
So you do see that there are also, you know, different book types that you could choose here. So you could pick high school books, you can pick, college books, and remember that this is updating every 30 minutes. So let's say it only says 5 for winter right now. Well, that's just 5 in the last 30 minutes, right? There could
Yeah.
be a whole new set coming up here in, in the future. And so here's a good winter book that BookMine found for you. This is called Forgotten Skills of Cooking. And you can see in December and January, for whatever reason, right? Its sales rank is much lower, and so we would
Oh,
define
this is
that
a good. This is actually a really good book, Joji.
a really good winter book,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So this is priced at 16. This was selling in the 45 plus range up into
yeah,
the 50s during December, January. We're at a good offer count
yeah.
relative to last year as well. So, um, yeah, I mean, if you look back into years past, you do see the same trend. Where we're
Yeah.
in the middle of the year where there's not as much demand, as price goes down, and then it goes right back up. So
It just
I
can't
would
get
say
any
that this
easier,
is
right? You just buy this book for 16, sell it in 45 in November.
45. Yep, exactly. And you could probably, I'm assuming, find multiple copies on eBay as well. So buy some on Amazon. You can buy some on eBay as well. But yeah, a great book here. And so this would be kind of a hard book to search for on your own, right? But this is why like having BookMine is so important, because even though you think you're finding all the winter books and all the Christmas books by using Keep a Product Finder and using certain tags, there's definitely going to be a large majority of those books which slip through the cracks because you're not able to really pinpoint them with Keepa. But because of the way that the algorithm of BookMine works, all those books will be found. And so the thing is, like, if you're somebody who's in it for the long haul, which I hope you are, that's why you all here are watching this. If you're in it for the long haul and you're always looking at BookMine, then you're just, as time goes on, going to find tons and tons of these seasonal books. Well, maybe you missed out it for that year, but again, you weren't able to find it on your own anyways. Now you have it for the next year, and now you can prepare if you save it to
Yeah,
your
you
refunds
keep
list.
getting better and better at this. You keep getting you're refining your skills more and more, and you'll be able to scale this to
Yep.
whatever level basically you want to go to.
Yep. And so here's another example of a book that you probably wouldn't have found. Mercedes-Benz Supercars, another Christmas book. Why? Because again, if you look in December, you can see how the sales rank does go really low. Generally tends to sell well throughout the year as well, but specifically has a lot of demand in December, probably because this is purchased as a gift for people who like Mercedes-Benz. And so guess what? This book is $5. Looks like this book can get up right up to the Amazon price. Now, this book might be a different book, Victor, going into this next December, because
Hmm.
Amazon was basically priced at right around $30, right? But now
Right.
Amazon's priced at $40. So now there's a little bit more spread. And so, buy this for, let's say, 8 or 9 bucks, sell it for, even if you're selling for like 34, $35, there's definitely profit to be made there.
Yeah.
So, and again, you can go back into time and see how that happens on this particular book time and time again. So again, that's the power of always clicking on the different book types. It'll definitely help you find some pretty cool books. And you can even see we have one winter book that, or one summer book that's shown up. And so what indicates this is a summer book on the sales rank keeper graph here,
Well, because there's
Victor?
a lot of sales happening in the summer, right?
Yeah, yeah,
and
exactly.
and and what's kind of cool, how you know it's a summer book, also just now that you're able to read the title, is who's gardening in when it's snowing outside,
Yeah,
right? Nobody.
exactly.
So there's no demand. So
Yeah.
that's when the prices go down a lot. And it's when you buy it, and
Yep.
then sell it when people want to start, putting together their garden.
Yep. The easiest way to see the demands as well, because it might be a little bit harder when Amazon goes out of stock, but when Amazon was in stock, if you go back into time, you can kind of see when the sales rank dips more. So I would say this is kind of more of like a spring going into summer book, because you can see how it kind of follows this pattern right here of the
Yeah,
sales rank, right? So the idea is that when Amazon's in stock, usually it was at a cheaper price, so there was a lot more people buying it, so you can see that demand a little bit easier. But this is what I would say is like a spring leading into summer book. Um, but again, Victor, how would you find this book if it weren't for BookMine? You wouldn't,
yeah.
right?
Good luck.
Because
Yeah, you're not going to find
unless
it.
you did some product finder searches for kitchen or garden, which you maybe could, but that's kind of the power of BookMine there.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me remove this. Ooh, let's go. Jackson says, I just bought a bunch of Monarch Butterfly books. Perfect.
See, a step ahead of us. I mean, that those books actually make good money.
Graduation. Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's see. Nice. Very cool.
250. Well,
All
yeah.
right.
The USA turning 250 years. Sure. Yeah. Look at those books. I
Yep.
mean, there's a lot of different options and ideas to on potential books that are going to spike soon.
Yep. I think we did a good job. We saw multiple. We only looked through a couple pages of BookMine. Like, how many pages are on BookMine? Let me just reset. But we looked at
Oh,
maybe 2 to 3 pages of BookMine, and
so I
there's
think there's like 5,200 books on there right now.
yeah, it's
So
5,200 books.
so yeah, let's go do that. 5,200 um, divided by 50, right?
Yeah.
So 104 pages.
So we looked at 2 of them. So in other words, we didn't really look at anything, and we
Dude,
found tons of stuff, which is why
we could go on all day and all night,
yeah,
but
which is
then
why being
yeah,
selective is important. It's also why we don't mind sharing this, is because like I can give you like 10 great deals right now, and it won't impact my ability to find more great deals.
yeah,
And a lot of people ask us like, why do you share this information? Why don't you just buy them all yourself? It's just like I don't
this is
have the ability.
impossible.
I don't have that much money. You know, I don't have hundreds of thousands of dollars. Probably, I don't have millions of dollars to spend on books.
I
And then
can't keep eating all this sushi. I
yeah.
thought I could initially, but after like 5 minutes, I'm like, I got
Okay,
this.
you have some sushi. You have some sushi then.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this is all I got.
yeah.
That's
So
basically what's happened because every 30 minutes there's more of them, more books that are just really great deals, and we can't buy them all.
here's one that was basically selling October, November, December, January for 200 plus. Sold in May once there for 170, and then it's down here in the 70s. So definitely a great margin between what it has sold for. What does worry me a little bit about this book is that there's just not very many sales in the last 7 or 8 months, which is a little bit interesting. But it is an older book, and it has sold very, very, very well for its entire history. But this would make me think that potentially there's a new edition of this book, which I'm not seeing a new one attached to the listing, which there could be one. It did come out in 2014, but the thing is, like, these are the types of books that you want to find. You want to find these books that have been selling for a lot more, like
Yeah,
this one, Victor.
that one, the one that's like two above that was all
Yeah,
really good.
this
Yeah,
one. You want to. This is the goal. You want to
and
find
like
books.
they're all here. Like I picked that one, that one, that one. These are all great books. Anyway, go
Yeah.
for it, George. I cut you off.
No, it's just that you want to find books that are priced well below
Yeah.
what they historically sell for. And by the way, this is a Halloween book right here. Deceptive Desserts: A Lady's Guide to Baking Bad. Who's gonna want to bake like this, Victor? When would someone want to bake like that?
Oh, yeah. Halloween. Halloween
Halloween.
time. Yeah.
So this is a Halloween book. And
Oh man,
yeah,
last October was like $100
yeah, it was like $100. I actually sold this before, which
and
is
sold
kind of how I
out.
know. And right now it's $30. Yeah, it
Yeah.
actually sold out in October. So you can see, look,
You guys need to go buy this because if you don't, I'll buy it.
yeah, October 1st, this book was in offer count. It was already selling for $100, but
Yeah.
October 1st, offer count was 13, and then all these people got uh, either purchased off the listing or maybe it was even a high pricing error. And
Yeah.
then this book was selling as soon as it popped back up in the 60s. And so now
So
this book
some
is about
people say they're like, oh, well, your method just takes too long. Well, Halloween's not too far away. It's 2 months away.
yeah, 2 months
It's
away.
probably as fast as you're gonna be able to get the book in stock.
Yeah,
So buy this book for 35, sell it for $100.
exactly. I want to see. I'm pretty sure I sold this. I want to see. I stopped sharing my screen. It's actually $34 right now, free shipping.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, good.
But let me see if I have. I'm pretty sure I did sell this in the last year. Maybe I sold it 2 years ago. That's the thing is time flies, Victor. When you
Yeah.
have fun. There's sometimes I'm like, I think I sold it this year. I'm like, oh no, I sold it 2 years ago. It's like, what?
Or sometimes it's kind of trippy where I'm like, oh, I saw this book. Okay, cool. When did I sell? No, I bought this book. Okay, let me go check when I bought it. And then I
Yeah.
bought it the same exact day, but a year ago. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
kind of crazy.
So actually, I did sell it in November of 2023 for $55, and I'm curious how much I bought it for. I bought it for $15. So I actually missed out. I could have sold it for way more, but it's okay. But I bought it for
Right.
so low, it didn't even matter. 15 to
Yeah,
55 is a great margin.
that's exactly right. That's
Ro-
exactly what you should be doing. Just
Rosemary says,
selling
I
the
feel like
books.
BookMine helped train my eye to see what a good book will look like. Doing this through Keep It Alone was trickier. I hope that makes sense. It
Yeah, yeah, it
definitely
does.
makes sense. Yeah. It's like we give you all the good technique and the good skill by default. So it's like that's the only thing you're exposed to, you know? It's
Yeah,
kind of like you live in a house and the only thing in the house is like fruit and veggies and healthy stuff. It's like, well, if you're a kid growing up in the house and that's the only thing in the house, I guess that's what you're gonna eat. You're not gonna
you're
die,
you're
right?
you're gonna start really liking grapes. Like,
Yeah.
these are great. Yeah,
These grapes are
so
good.
sweet.
Wow. And it's be like, wow, this celery and this cauliflower and this broccoli is actually pretty good. That's kind of
That's what BookMine does for you.
yeah. If
Yeah.
you can't tell, we love analogies. So all right. So again, if you're coming from the M6 66 minutes audience, welcome. Feel free to go ahead and sign up for the French webinar that's going to be taking place 7 p.m. CET, which is Central European time on Tuesday.
This
Just
Tuesday.
yeah, this
Yeah.
Tuesday, just put your name and your email. And again, it's a beginner focused in terms of like how to get started selling on the US marketplace. If you are living in France, it's going to be an awesome training. We'll do some free giveaways. And yeah, it's just going to be a good time. So definitely join that. If you're somebody who's living in the US, literally it's a no-brainer, Victor. What should you do immediately if you haven't already?
Oh, right now, go sign up for BookMine Mini.
How much?
Yeah.
How much are we charging per month for?
Well, apparently some people want us to give it send people money, but right now it's just free. So
Absolutely free.
you
That
put
gives
in your email address, and that's it. We're not asking for your credit card information or anything like that. So sign
Yeah.
up, and then you start getting 50 book leads every 2 hours.
Yeah, sounds good. All right, everybody. I had a lot of fun. I hope you had a lot of fun. I think it's time to call
This
quits
is
here.
this is great. I'm happy we were able to do this.
Go buy some books. What can we say? Go buy
Yeah.
some books.
At least 10 books. You guys should be at 10 books. And being in this live, there was at least what, like 10 books you could have bought. So
Yeah.
you would already done it for the day.
Yeah. All right, everybody. So hopefully you enjoyed it. And for the French people, for everyone coming from the French audience, we'll see you on Tuesday.
See you
And
soon.
everyone else, hope you had a good time. All right. See you guys.
All right, bye.
Bye. Bye.